know much about shoes at all, like nothing. So I had to learn on my own basically. So growing up, as I got older and kind of wiser, I just started noticing people's feet. So I was like, damn, those shoes look nice and whatnot. And that was just one of the things that I never really got attention to, shoes or clothes or whatever. But I actually have one of the very first that I've owned. Well, I'm not sure if it's the first, but you can tell that by the size that it's pretty old. It's a Reebok Classic, no pump, it's just regular, all black. Yeah, this was the first shoe I ever had. As you can see, it was no Jordan, no nothing fancy. It's just whatever they could afford. So I just wanted to show you that. And as I got older, I switched schools, and once I switched schools, that changed my vision on shoes in a crazy way. So when I changed schools, and I went to a public school, I noticed there were people wearing these crazy colored shoes, and I was like, I wonder where they got them from. So I did some research, and I found out what the shoes were. And once I saw the value of over $100, I knew that I wasn't probably gonna get them, knowing that my shoes probably cost less than 40 or 20 even. So I really wanted these shoes for a while, and at the time I was probably like in the 8th grade, 7th grade when I noticed these shoes. So probably finding these probably would have been a hassle, which it was. So back to what I was saying, I finally got into high school and I finally did my research and picked them up from a place none other. So I picked them up from a place none other than Flight Club New York. It was on Lafayette Street, now it's on Broadway. But they had a used consignment store where I got them from for about retail price, which was about $180. Noted that these shoes came back in 2007, 2008. So at the time it was probably like 2010-ish. So they were kind of pretty much gone. You couldn't get them anywhere except for this store. So I found them, and I finally got them. And you've probably seen these in a couple other videos, but I have to show them one more time. It was these bad boys, Alpha 8s. These were the first retro Jordans that I bought. Because before that, I actually purchased a pair of Fusion 5s. So that was actually the first Jordan that I ever bought. But this is actually the first retro that I ever bought. You can see it's falling apart. And the shoes were just, so they just fall apart. So now I'm trying to bring them back to life, and it would be great for me to wear these again, because I haven't worn these in about a year when they started getting messed up. Paint chipping was already there when I got them, which was one thing. But separation like this didn't happen overnight. It took a long years. If you stock your shoes for over a decade or for over 5 years and you just don't wear them, when you put them on your feet, they're just gonna fall apart. So the fact that I was wearing these every single day of the week probably, they didn't fall apart on me because they got a nice bond. So these were the first Jordans that I ever bought that were retros. And then I started the whole craze of retros where I've owned almost every retro from 1 to 14 except for the 1s and the 2s. I never owned a sneaker that was high value, that like a value of over $1,000. So a couple months ago, if you saw my other videos, you would have saw that I now finally own a pair of Yeezys, and actually have both of the 750s. As you can see, I have the black, but I also have the gray down there. But I finally, let me just set this right here. Now I finally own a grail of mine so basically this is a story of how I got into sneakers and where I am in the sneaker game now. Whereas the fact that I'm 21 years old and sneakers aren't really a thing for me, and they're kind of dying down, except for things that I kind of really own that I really wanted to get while I was growing up, just trying to get it just for the sake of not having it while I was a kid, is pretty stunning. And hopefully one day I have all my grails, which I have a pretty long list, but hopefully one day I'll have all the shoes that I want in my collection. As you guys know, being a sneakerhead isn't just having all the Jordans and all the expensive stuff. Even though you don't have as many sneakers as the other person next to you, they shouldn't be judged as not being a sneakerhead, because just of the fact that you know about sneakers and you know the history behind it, but you don't own them, you can also be called a sneakerhead. Being a sneakerhead, in my definition, is knowing about sneakers, wearing sneakers in general, and just having a passion for sneakers. Just because of the fact that you own Yeezys and you own Jordans and you own all this cool stuff doesn't make you a legit sneakerhead. You know, you can just have them and not know any knowledge behind them. But the fact that you know that this came from a Kanye West, and before Adidas, he was on Nike, and he had other shoes before the Nike, as the Huarache, and he was on Babe and stuff like that. That will make you a sneakerhead. Like, you know the stuff behind it. But, you know, that's just my perspective on things. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for Saturday's video that's coming. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you have a great Tuesday and also a great Wednesday if you're watching this on Wednesday. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and peace. I'm out. Today we didn't upload a video because it was caught up. It was spring break and all that stuff, and we got caught up.